So we're just gonna dive right into it. Joining us tonight is the man who took over the fandom with his incredible dope ass artwork and his just incredible charisma. The one and only, ladies and gentlemen. Attack Peter, and of course, co-host Evandro. What is going on?
What's up, gentlemen? Good to see you. Happy to be here.
What's going on? What's going on?
We're here to talk about.
We're here to talk
about some special stuff here. Some special
we
stuff.
Definitely are. Look at that. That's the guy that started it off.
That was it, or was it this guy?
The Daruma kicked off the fact that we could do 3D with my style for sure. And I love that thing. It's the Daruma gave everybody else some confidence, right? And then Godzilla doing well. People started saying, "Oh, so there's an interest in this kind of heavy stylization." More than just maybe a few units here and there. Like, it was a big deal. It sold super well for Mondo, and the conversation changed from, it'd be fun to do some different takes on Godzilla, including yours, Peter, as a style. And now the conversation is more like Mechagodzilla, who's next? That kind of thing. So it's super exciting.
So, I mean,
imagine they want a lot.
Do you have the official numbers? Is this the most selling from the museum line?
I don't have the exact numbers, but I know I think it's the only one that sold out.
Yeah, because I remember this. Yeah, because I'd assume it was this number one, the Hanna-Barbera number 2, and then the G54. But yeah, no, I remember this thing.
Yeah,
the hotness.
Yeah. No, it was like the eve of that dropping. I was,
nervous,
really
a wreck.
Yeah. And it's every time. Even with Mechagodzilla, I'm nervous because I don't really understand what it is that makes something pop. All I do is I try to design something that I think is going to be cool, that I would want on my shelf. And I know full well that I have weird taste. So like sometimes that makes me nervous. And Hector, thankfully, like always helps to
have this group.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but like I have 7 Toxic Avenger figures on my wall right now. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, so I don't know how I fit in sometimes. Like, I know I love my Godzilla stuff and I love my Universal monsters and I love weird 90s gross toys. But the great thing about being at Mondo is working with Hector, because I really do think, and I've said this multiple times, I think he's probably, as a toy fan, toy collector, the most exciting brain in the toy industry, in the sense that he can do it all from concept to walk it all the way through the factory, and he's also just a great brain as what could and should a toy line be, whether it's Godzilla, whether it's Masters, and how bold you should go, or what kind of references you should pull, and who should you put on the project. It's incredible to watch.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot that goes into it for sure. Like, yeah, it's because again, there's so many decisions to make, and it's always like, is this the right one? Is this the right colorway? Is this the right size? Is this the right figure? Does anyone want this? But speaking of,
on top of that, he also designs figures and sculpts them, and so like the Space Godzilla that everybody loves right now, is his design and sculpt. He didn't just oversee the project; that's his sculpt, and so it's awesome to work with him, because when I go like, when I'm really pulling ideas and forms and designs from all over the place, he's like, okay, but this will work if we do this to it. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Go for it. That kind of thing. So it's great to have that teamwork behind it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, we kind of have something similar, like working with Kaz over at Marmot,
right.
Asking his expertise, like, do you think this would work? And he'll just be like, no. And you're like, okay. Like, all right. Let me know what you need and we'll figure it out. But like, it's great to have that, because, we don't know it all. Like, for me, like, I'm a great idea guy. I'm always like, yo, man, this would be awesome. But I don't have your talent to draw it out.
AJ, I've seen your artistic talents. I think you and Cody can create some really great stuff together.
Yeah. Like, the greatest stick figure line you've ever seen. Like.
That's the next thing to pop. Watch.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe just to do stick figure human characters from the Toho universe. Banging idea. But speaking of walking this through, so you thank you so much for sending me this image. So this was
all right,
basically how it started off. So walk us through this entire process. Like, how does it get from this?
Let me ask you this: why Mechagodzilla? Like, other than obviously he's awesome.
Yeah. It's really like a Sophie's choice when it comes to designing a figure in the Godzilla world, man. Like, so first of all, I'll go just a second back to the Godzilla Museum line, and for those who got the figure, you guys know it's more like a vinyl statue. It's not. There's no articulation, and it's kind of like it's this 8-inch scale, which I love this thing. I'm so proud of it. It still holds up in when I see people take photos of their collections and he's in it. I'm like, it stands out. It's so cool, but it still feels fun, alongside other things. Like Andy Peters posted a photo of it next to the Mondo Mothra, you know what I mean? And those two couldn't be more different. And it just looks cool together. So I'm super proud of it. But at the time, in order to get it made, the only, parameter was make sure it fits the Godzilla Museum line that we were working on, which, like you said, AJ, was the 54 and the Hanna-Barbera one. And that line was supposed to be an 8-inch scale, had to come with a base, all these things. And so, when it, like I said, after it did well and we had the opportunity to flex a little bit, have some leverage, I said, okay, let's do another one, but this time, what I really wanted is for it to scale with stuff like this. I don't want to revolutionize this as much as I want to make something cool that fits alongside it. So this scale, 9 to 10 inches, they all have that upright vibe. They have the articulation in the shoulders, in the legs, and in the tail, and that's it. And it's not an accident that when we designed Mechagodzilla, that was what was in mind. I literally took the frame of a few different soft vinyl classic figures and then just designed mine as
use like a silhouette.
Yeah, to fit alongside it. So this is the original sketch, and now I haven't looked at it in a minute. So I knew that what I wanted to do is not lose Mechagodzilla's original silhouette. Oh, and you asked why Mechagodzilla? Because I had already done Godzilla, right? Although this is a different line now, but if I felt like I can't just do another Godzilla and say, oh, he's 2 inches taller with articulation. That's not enough hype. Instead, it was important to do a figure that shows what we can do in this scale, but also give you a new piece if you're just collecting like all my toys, like if you got the Daruma and the Godzilla, if you're expecting a Takaro figure soon, right? Like here's a new entry to the Attack Peter toy line, and at the same time it shows what this line can be. So this is the new format. Articulated, right, in the shoulders. I'm still. These are brand new factory.
Oh man, look, that's some tight joints, baby.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're not.
That's fresh
floppy,
vinyl right there.
Yeah. There's a roto vinyl. These are all roto vinyl. So then, you'll see like the wrist. You can rotate there, and then the head is also. You can articulate the head. So
can it do a full 360 and turn around?
It's supposed to do the whole thing. I haven't messed with this one yet. I mean, let me see.
Let's do it. Do it. Yeah, let's go. That's what I'm talking about.
So like you can go all the way around, all the way around. I'm still working these. I just got this, so it's like really snug. But as I play with it more, like that's getting looser.
So is that a prototype or is that the real deal? Like from the factory.
This is the Roto Vinyl factory.
That's what everyone's gonna have. All right.
Yes, this is it. And just to show you, that's what I was saying. Like, it scales like really well.
It's in that 8-inch scale.
Yeah, so, and actually, look, here's this is the one that a lot of people are talking about right now, the Passion Tank.
Yeah,
I said, look, when they said how big you want it, I go grab a Passion Tank, measure how tall it is, and just go half an inch bigger.
Yep.
I just wanted to make sure.
I mean,
I'm just joking.
That's pretty much it. Well, no, Mechagodzilla was supposed to be a little bit bigger, so I mean, that's That's
I'm teasing about that, but I do feel like this is a beautiful like example of like soft vinyl.
Passion Tank 64 is
it's gorgeous. Awesome. So like I said, I just want you to have something that can hang with it. And in this black and white paint app, you can put him next to any piece in the collection and he'll look good. So if you want to go back to the sketch, I'll talk to you about that.
Sure.
I think Mechagodzilla really fits your style like great. just the lines, the contrast. It fits so well.
I love the super exaggerated like eyebrows, giving him.
Yes.
I love the eyes.
I don't want to say
eyes.
Muppet features, but it kind of has that like
100%.
super angled down, like angry
100%.
Cookie Monster, and I love it.
100%.
It looks great.
No, AJ, 100%. In fact, that's what I was gonna say. Mechagodzilla was actually one that we were throwing around, and we're like, we both got excited for Mechagodzilla. Okay, let's do that one. And in my head, I'm like, dude, Mechagodzilla, in my opinion, the Showa Mechagodzilla is a perfect design. And specifically, like, I love them both, but I really love the 74. It felt like a little clunkier. By 75, like, you can tell it's like a little bit more streamlined. They figured it out with the big lightning bolts and all that. But I said, God, with Godzilla, he's like this organic creature that's been reinterpreted multiple times in every era. Mechagodzilla kind of like stood in those two films almost exactly the same, and a perfect design. What do I do to make it attack Peter, to worthy of like throwing my stupid name on that? They got to do something to it to make it worthy. So I was like, let's get the head. The head's great. There's the head that you see when you look at the original suit. I got the X Plus back here. And when you think of it in your mind, like, I think we remember it more like intense, but when you look at it, the real suit, it's kind of like just mellow, like a little like shit-eating grin, like,
yeah,
like a Mr. Burns where his eyes are relaxed.
I'm just coming to kill you. Here I come.
So I said, okay, I'm gonna take advantage of that. I'm gonna pump up the expression, make sure the eyes. The original suit has like these scribe lines in the eyes, but it's not immediately recognizable, like when you're just looking at it powered off or whatever. So I said, let's make that a major feature, so it's almost like having pupils in the eyes there.
Yeah,
and then
that was I was gonna say, that's the one that stands out to me, is the eyes.
Yeah. There's no other Mechagodzilla interpretation that way. He almost kind of has like a Michael Myers vibe, where the blank stare, and it's creepy. Don't get me wrong.
Face.
Yes, but I wanted to be able to, without giving him goofy real pupils. That's stupid. I just wanted to say these are already there. We're just highlighting them. And then on the sides, you can see in the sketch on where that earpiece is or whatever it is. The original suit has a light up area there that has like 5 little circles in that circle. And I said, I wonder if it'll let me get away with putting an asterisk in there, which is what I always put to fill up space in my prints. I use that for everything, for explosion effects, for stars in the sky. It's always an asterisk. And so they let me put it on there. They approved it. And then, to you guys' point, it's a metal character, right? He's metal, and metal is iridescent. It's reflective. How in the shit am I going to get that to look like something in a black and white figure? And then, by the way, make sure it feels like it's carved, like it's a reference to the lino block print, which is the whole point. And so I started to think how I would render it in a print. I did a print with Mechagodzilla back in 2020, and I went back and I studied how I interpret it in that print. And it's just using alternate areas of black and white, and then offsetting where the black lands and where the white lands. And that kind of overlap is a reference to how metal behaves. When metal looks shiny, it's because the bright areas are surrounded by dark shadows, and it like suddenly goes dark light. That's how metal behaves. So trying to interpret that like this was an important way to reflect that metal. And then using the actual mark making that I would create in my prints, because of the tools and the limitations of the tools, in order to create, areas that are not dark and not light, but somewhere in the middle, patterning. So a lot of that patterning of repeated lines moving in the direction of the form of the body, right? Now, when I look back at this sketch, I can definitely see that his legs were so stunted in the first one. And I think that was me just trying to imagine him as this big steam-powered thing. So when I sent it to Hector, he goes, this is awesome. We got to fix the legs, a little stumpy, but this is awesome. We're going to use this. And it kind of goes through changes from the sketch through the sculpt, because once you see it sculpted, and the great Tufan Caesar, who sculpted the original Godzilla, sculpted this one, once you see the form start to actually exist, to take shape, things that you thought made sense, you're like, no, let's just tweak this, tweak that. And I made a few tweaks of my own, like adjusting the head, and I would just send the notes back. And finally we got to the point where it took on the shape it took on. and you can see it now. Like it still has what was important to me was that big pot belly, right? It's like this egg when you look at it. It's like this egg shape. And then again, you can see the expression now, like really pump the eyebrows, highlight the rings in the eyes to kind of give the idea of eyes, but not really. And then there's the asterisk.
Yeah, that's something I never even noticed before.
Crazy.
Now that you pointed out, that's so cool. So how many iterations of this, like how many sketches did you even do before you even got to this one? Like where you were like, all right, this is the one. Like,
no, I was gonna ask, like, was this a challenge for you compared to the other stuff that you've done? Or was it, did it seem so natural that you're like, this can really like work well?
I believed it could work, but it's always difficult. Like I have incredibly crippling imposter syndrome when it comes to a design that I think people are gonna dig. Like I'm like, oh my god, this is gonna be, people are gonna be like, all right, you overstepped a little bit here on this one. But I just try to design like if I never had a chance to do it again, you know, I just want to make sure it doesn't look like a half measure.
yeah.
And so I go further than I think I should go, knowing that the whole process of working with a team, there's going to be push and pull and adjustments coming from all different places and ideas coming from all different places. And when you work on a team, you want to honor that partnership and that collaboration, knowing that they're trying to make it as awesome as possible. And they also serve as a little like market research. Like these different people who care about toys are pointing out different things, and you can take some of that information and apply it, or you can ignore it. But ultimately, I think it's best to take in some of that stuff. And then, yeah, so one sketch, I only try to do things once, man. Like if there's an adjustment, I adjust it, but it's quick digitally to adjust stuff like I'm the way I work. And that's usually from Hector saying, hey, mock this up, change this, tweak this, but it's slight stuff. We nailed what I thought was my version of Mechagodzilla right off the rip.
Yeah, man,
that's amazing. That's
and
amazing.
And for those that don't know, so like theirs is coming out in 2 different colorways. I love that there's gonna be like this lino cut where this looks like your posters, and then there's going to be a traditional silver and black. Do you have a prototype of that to show off as well?
Not yet. It's coming.
All right. Okay.
Here, yeah. But I've posted pictures of it on my Instagram if people want to see them. That we displayed them both on at San Diego Comic-Con, and for me, it was important to show it off because, you know, in my mind, I just want to make sure the black and white ones come out, because I think there's going to be people who want to have the collection of, Takuro Godzilla, Mechagodzilla, and that black and white carrying throughout that reflects, like you said, the block prints. But I wanted to get a colorway in that was more on model to show that it can work, and look, if these things pop off in a big way, I'm gonna see if I can tell Hector, let's pull out a cherry blossom just to fuck around. I just want to do it. Everybody loves a cherry blossom. Like, I want to do a cherry blossom. It makes no sense, but I just want to do it. But the point is, like, I want people to expect that there's 2 things being done here. There's actually 3 things being done in this figure. There's a desire to sculpt something that looks cool and will fit and honor your Kaiju Sofubi collection, right? I want it to be a reflection of the artwork that inspired it, so we want to make sure those black and white colors are there. But I also want people to just think of it as a cool entry into the world of these figures, the same way when you look at M1 versus I mean, look at what a Matt with in his version of Hedora. I just want it to feel like another sculpt, another design, another take, and it could be in a different colorway and still fit, in your collection.
So I don't even think you need to do another colorway. Honestly, I think, should I be sharing that?
Tell me.
So because the way your litter cut version is, if you were to literally release the exact same thing but as a glow on the dark, like on a glow on the dark with the black, you don't need it. You don't need any color. Like, it already it'll kind of hit both. I'm just throwing it out there.
Okay.
I'm the idea guy. I mean,
no, I love that idea.
I'm ready.
Because I'm looking at it already. Like it kind of has that glow in the dark vinyl vibe, and it's kind of the opposite of the Godzilla, where there's more of the white here than the black.
Yes. Yeah,
so it's this one I feel like would be perfect for just it's not even this is just the glow in the dark version, and it pretty much kind of stands on its own. And then obviously when the lights go off, let's go.
I love that idea. I would probably want to paint the black parts green, so it really feels like glow in the dark colorway. It's just why not? And then a lot of people
multi-million color idea here.
Yeah, some people say have come up to me and go, "Dude, you should release a reverse variant where it's mostly black and everything looks white." So you never know.
Then it would match the Godzilla more. Yeah, that would be a cool take too.
Yeah, I'm hoping that people do with these what Kyle Yount does with GMK and Gigan figures. I don't know if you guys see behind me.
Oh, absolutely.
40 of the same sculpt. That's what I want to see. Eventually, get to a point where it's just a sculpt that you can bring out in a different color. You know,
it was the same thing. Over a Spiral toy. Like we got the G65 coming, and obviously we got more G19s. Yeah. And it's kind of the same thing. Like you want it to be able to fit into people's collections, and like seeing that is, I don't know, it's still wild. It'd be like, oh, someone put that toy on their shelf. But trying to get those, the people that want to collect them all is wild.
Yeah, you just want to make something that hits. Look, we had breaking news yesterday. I don't know if you know this, AJ.
Oh, what was it breaking news?
Yesterday on Collect All Monsters, Leslie Chambers
admitted that Jaws 2 was a bad movie.
He said, this is huge. Everybody sit down. He said he doesn't collect, we all know, he doesn't collect Sofubi.
Oh, this might be one of his first?
He said if he was going to buy one, this would be the one.
Oh, my God. You love to see it. No, Leslie hates.
There are deals being made right now behind the scenes to get that quote put on the box. And I'm talking on the front. That's the entire box. It's a black box. And
if I could buy one, it would be this one.
Leslie Chambers. I can't tell you how happy it made me, to be honest with you. Like, his review channel is what first got me hyped up to go a little harder in my collecting. I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. Fuck yeah. And so I'm half joking, but I'm also serious that like that's the goal with things, like this, is you want to excite people who've seen it all too. Like Kaiju collectors have had their chance to get every character, every which way, every scale. How do you excite them, ourselves included?
Well, that's the fun part of this, is like trying to fill the gaps with stuff that hasn't been done before or done uniquely. Like, and this is definitely going to fill that void of like, there's nothing else on anyone else's shelf that's going to look like that, like, or close. Cool. And that's what's up. Like, that's what it's all about.
It's scary too, though, because it's scary. Like, when you're designing something, and maybe you felt something like this when you were working on the project that you just talked about. Sometimes your instinct says, okay, this might be too out there for people. Can I, or, if and it goes back and forth, like this might be too out there, or this might be too like same. And it's just, dude, it's like, it's an impossible.
Yeah. We've been trying to like, I find like the biggest challenge is like how far, because like obviously there's traditional Sofubi, but we want to introduce something new. So it's like, how far do you push into like, is it more realistic? You know what I mean? Like you could see that on the G19, like it has a lot of details that you normally probably wouldn't see. And we kind of did that with the G65 too, where it was like, are we pushing it too close to it being too suit accurate? Like, that we scale it back so it doesn't, it keeps that toy energy, so to speak. Yes. So like, that's like a delicate balance of like, have you gone too far? Is this now an X plus? We don't want it to be an X plus. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's 100%. And then I'm just thinking too that I want toy collectors who don't even necessarily get Sofubi, or maybe they got the Mechagodzilla figures, right? Or I want those guys to see this stuff and go, that might be one to get. What's up, Matt?
That's me.
And then people catch the bug, man. Like I wasn't, my collecting journey went like, I was a Bondi guy, then I was an X Plus guy, and then I got into Sofubi. Like it wasn't, everyone's journey is like different, but like that's the thing. Like if you for like, using Leslie as an example, like that's a big thing because like here's a guy that doesn't even think about collecting it, and then maybe this is the one that gets him to bite the bullet, and then the rabbit hole opens up, and then that's what I get blamed. Like, I think my biggest claim to fame with Kaiju Live is everyone blames me for their collecting habits because of a variety of stuff.
As your friend, I blame you.
Let's be honest here. During the pandemic is when I discovered your channel, like early pandemic, and I was so happy to have discovered it because it felt like a very fun, like comic book shop meets QVC energy where like
Thank you.
It is like imagine you go to the comic shop and instead of just grabbing what you want and getting it, the clerk behind the counter has everybody seated in the shop, and then he pulls something out from behind and you go, ooh, and then everybody's like, all right, and then you get it, and then he goes, and now this, and you're like, fuck. It was so I'll forever love that auction show because of how much of a good vibe it was during that time. And but dude, going back to what we're saying is like the cool thing about Sofubi to me, and the reason why I think it's like it's special to people who collect it is because it really does feel the same way as when you're collecting art that you hang on your walls, right? And there are different posters you get and different whatever it is, original art. These figures don't feel exactly like figures the way I collect, a NECA figure or a Super 7 figure. They feel like like Sofubi in general feels like little sculptures that are intentionally made in a way that harkens back to when they were first made, right? Mm-hmm. And so the materials are actually intentionally chosen to harken back to a time where that's all that was available, right? And so everything is intentional now. The colors are a connection back to original colorways. Even the characters that are celebrated in Sofubi, where this is my one hurdle that I want to get over, but the characters are usually like Kaiju and stuff like that. That's a harking back to the original stuff as well, So I just think it's great because I love them so much, and unlike like when I would collect statues like Bowen Bust and all that, you don't want to mess with them. You don't want to bring them around everywhere. You want to leave them be. I love grabbing vinyl stuff and just putting them on the desk. Yeah, exactly. So it's this perfect product for that.
They feel like toys, like they really do. They feel like toys that I would never let my daughter play with, but
if she did, it wouldn't be the end of the world.
Exactly.
No, it would be. No, you get banished. You're 5 years old. Be like, look, times are tough. You got to get out of here.
You don't touch it. It's on the shelf. You don't touch it. It's not a toy.
But I definitely don't feel bad about.
Put her in the Ragnar pit. It's over.
Yeah.
I don't feel bad about people getting their first or second Sofubi figures because I think it's an easier collectible too than for example like wall art. Because over time, how much wall space do you have? You got to get the frame for it usually. Like this, it arrives, it's there, you put it out, you're done. You know what I mean?
I love it. It's a more recent aspect that I've been attracted to because I don't have a lot of space, right? And just the scale of these would fit perfectly on my shelves. Like
exactly, and you got a lot of books you can get rid of. I'm looking at back there.
Oh yeah, don't look at my books. A lot of those are D&D books.
Yeah, read them. D&D. You already played it. Pass it on. That's precious toy space you could have behind you.
It's true.
What is it, a
library? Well, that is definitely like the.
You see AJ messing around with books behind him? He'd rather have empty space behind him than a book.
It is true.
With the way AJ pronounces words, I'd be surprised if he reads.
Wow. Holy shit.
Jesus.
I thought.
I love you.
Ouch,
my God, I bring on this guy as a co-host, and I might as well just. Should I just kick him off? Do we hit the? The Price is Right button?
All of a sudden, the trap door opens up on me. The screen just clears.
In the shark tank, he goes.
In the shark tank.
Hey, what's up, Ian? Hello from Hong Kong. That's awesome.
Yo, Hong Kong. Check him out.
Welcome.
We got a question. What time? So these are. So is this the first one that's being available?
This is, yeah.
Or are they both going up at the same time?
No, this one's going up Tuesday.
Okay.
I believe 1 p.m. is usually when 1 p.m. Eastern is when Mondo does their drop. And it's going to be a timed edition. So you don't have to
So
pull
how do
over
the
on the
time?
side
Yeah.
of the road.
How do the times
You-
editions work? So is this like it's open for a week? It's open for a day?
This one's going to be, I believe, a week, but they'll say exactly when they post on Tuesday. It's supposed to be a week or just about a week. So that being said, if you're waiting for Friday because it's a payday, or you can't be there the second it goes live, whatever it is, you're going to be fine. As long as you have a reminder set to at some point during the week get it, you're going to be fine. But
Okay.
the downside of that is that I've seen, based on this Godzilla, that a lot of people got comfortable thinking, I'll just get it tomorrow. It's up, still up. And so when it finally, the sale ended, I can't believe after how many units actually sold.
Are you getting more?
This day. No, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
this
Someone just
day-
asked in the chat, is it getting a
Yeah.
re-release? Yeah.
To this day, people ask about that one. And now I understand for people who didn't know my work back then or weren't paying attention. I get that. But like, if you were aware of it, like that's tough because I can't think of a more collector friendly way to do a release than to have a timed release so that you
incredible.
can plan your life, but it's also limited at the end so that what you get has value,
So it's basically like I'm gonna guess like a timed release basically means it's made to order. Like
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Like we already got, obviously you see this, we already have the mold and it's ready to, it's going to production.
Mhm.
So it's not made to order in the same way like a hot toy is made to order and then doesn't show up for 2 years. end game cap trauma. But yeah, so Tuesday 1 o'clock. Probably the incentive to get there early is that you're ensuring that you're going to get yours sooner. And the way toy batches work, eventually a wave gets capped off. If these things sell 50 billion units, there is a number where
there's a number where it goes, hey, the factory can't handle this yet.
or we gotta like do another wave, so there might
Yeah.
be like a month or two in between someone's
absolutely.
arrival. Yeah.
So when so pre-order Tuesday, and then when is the first wave expected to hit our
I don't want to
beautiful
say
hands?
for sure. I don't want to say for sure, but what I was told is it's not going to be a long wait at all, considering the production's already started. So,
Oh, let's go. I'm sorry.
yeah. So I don't want. I just want to say the wrong thing, and then it sounds like it because it's from what I was told a very short window. I just don't want to get it wrong. But
So would it possibly be this year? Or are we just thinking like Q1 next year to be safe? I'd imagine.
I mean, to be safe, Q1 next year, but there have been rumblings.
Oh, the rumblings. Okay.
To the contrary.
Maybe a little Christmas action, a little Christmas Mecha. All right.
One lucky fan is gonna get me showing up at their door in a Santa suit.
All right.
Merry
So,
Christmas.
all right. So let me just give you my
I'm ruining
address.
Christmas.
Let me just give you my address and the time that you should show up.
I'm gonna get really comfortable on the couch, spread all the toys out, ask for breakfast.
You're just gonna be like, where's your whiskey?
Exactly.
They don't call him
Immediately
Santa
you
Maria
regret-
for nothing, you know.
Exactly. Immediately you regret giving me your address. Like, I'm gonna be here for a week, guys. No big deal.
Yeah.
New Year's, and I'm out.
He's actually more like the Grinch. He's just like plucking all the lights down. He's like, screw these guys.
Exactly. Taking the remote for the TV. I'm like, what else you got? It's like
His sack is just full of your collection.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
just
I
taking
agree.
my. Oh, I'm like, yo, dude, that's mine, man. He's like, nah.
I leave with more than I came with.
But it's funny how we're talking about like Sofubi and collections, because like I obviously like I moved on. Like I've always been fascinated with statues, like these giant statues, and obviously with like Spiral Studio, it hits that need. Then you had like XM do a couple, which and then Prime One, which they're huge, like GVK diorama is coming soon. But man, like, yeah, I'm at the point now where like I don't even know. I'm trying to I'm gonna downsize my collection. I'm just trying to figure out to what.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
with you.
do I
missed
keep the
days.
giant things? Because that's like I
me.
love the museum style of like, if I had 5 of them,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. You know what I mean? You could be like, oh my god.
Let
Or
me give
do
you
I-
a piece of advice on how to do this. Okay.
Okay,
'Cause I've been
yes.
thinking about this
Break it
quite a
down.
bit. Yeah, and I realize that what I usually love, outside of a few classic things I know I'm always gonna love forever, what I really love more than my favorite piece at the moment is whatever's next. And so I know that's always gonna be the way I am. And so I'm with you, AJ. I would rather have less big pieces that are just showstoppers, but I love stuff like this.
Yeah, I know. Dude,
This is a perfect figure, you guys. This
Super
little
7?
Super 7 Glow Hedorah. And by the way, I bought 2 because it looks so good in the package, like a separate thing. These are always gonna have like space in my collection, but this is what you do. You get yourself like a detolf or something like that, right? Like a little lit case. All the little stuff, anything 10-inch and down, you put it in there. Like a Mandarake cabinet. You shove it in there. You shove it in there, and everything is neat and nice, and it looks cool, like a little, big stuff freestanding on its own. That's it. Do not mix that shit up. Nothing makes your big statues look cheaper than a bunch of little bullshit around the base. Like, what is this?
Oh no, like
shop?
I've always wanted to do like I either want to like just create like an entire like diorama corner, kind of something like that, or literally
Marcellus Winters. You're not gonna do that.
Nah, yeah, the Marcellus is just too talented. I don't have that kind of talent or the time or patience.
I always picture that he's working on that, and then he eventually works himself into a corner. And he can't get out because he built the city. And
he's like, he's army crawling under the boards. He's like, I gotta get out of here now.
He's built a tunnel system now under his own diorama. Every night he's like El Chapo getting out of there.
Yeah, his stuff is wild. Evandro, if you haven't seen him, man, I gotta send you pictures. It's
so cool. Man.
What he's built. He's probably he might be one of the best model kit builders right now.
Oh. Dude,
like
and that's
with his diorama. Yeah,
but yeah, like that's the dream. Like to have I would do what he does if money was no object. What I would do is I would get like my walls to have like a recessed glass case.
Yes,
and I would build the diorama, but like vertically or like with what I'm saying. So like it's the sky background, shelves with the turf on it, the little buildings, but it's all on the wall so I can live. I mean, I don't know how he does it. He's got to like hop over these skyscrapers to get out of his room.
Yeah, amazing. I've always wanted to have like the 4-foot pedestals where it's just like that one thing is there, and then right behind it, like a poster that goes with it.
You're talking like literally walking through a museum.
Yeah, like that's what I want. That's what I mean, a Godzilla museum with a bar.
I would hate to dust any of that.
Nah.
Just
you don't have as much. You don't have as much. That's the thing. You have less, so you just get like one of those dust cans.
Yeah.
Sideshow sells those pillars. Yeah, exactly. Well, you have books there. The dust on those books. Sideshow has these pillars. The dust because he doesn't read them. He just buys them there and he puts them there. And I'm like, God, this guy must be fucking brilliant. I've done that before. Don't get me wrong. I have a few books in my living room, and people are like, "Oh,
just like
wow.
3 or 4."
Yeah, they're like the vintage-looking ones from Barnes and Noble. They put out every year
cover. It's like I have that. There's a book of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It's a very leather-bound
the Art of War back there.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, but yeah, I think the idea is something like that. Those pillars, by the way, I was gonna say they sell them on the Sideshow website, AJ, and they glow from the bottom, so you can light up your stuff. Forget about it.
Ooh, AJ, you need that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Kelly just chimed in. Hey, Abby.
Hey, gang. Rousseau family, what's up?
Hey, Kelly. To do this interview, Kelly's taking on the challenge of putting both kids to bed. The sacrifices that we make to make these things happen, Yes.
Oh, hi, Abby.
Yep. So which that means I'm the guy that now has to wake up if the baby wakes up in the middle of the night. You'd love to see it.
It sounds about right.
Absolutely.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, it's like what's sleep? Sleep doesn't even exist. If I get actual like 4 hours of uninterrupted sleep, I'm like, yo, what a win! What a great day!
It's gonna be the last 3 nights. The last 3 nights, my daughter.
Today's gonna be a good day. I got 4 hours of sleep, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah.
Kelly says you're goddamn right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she knows. Even though she's off tomorrow, I mean, because every Jewish holiday for the schools, you got to get all of them off. I guess makes sense.
Yeah, all the teachers get off. Yeah.
Nice.
It's for every holiday now. It's not just a Jewish holiday.
For the electrical industry, I'm not sure why we don't have off, because like half of the companies are, you know, owned by Jewish owners, and there's nothing to do because there's no orders because they're all off. So we just kind of like show up like, what a day. I guess we'll just
enjoy it.
Think about it.
Yeah.
You're gonna play Wordle on repeat. That's it. Good for you.
Yeah, man.
Wordle.
Fire up Angry Birds. Have like a 2012.
I'll bring in my like Super Nintendo and play like Godzilla's Greatest Battles. Be like, yo, you guys ever play this fighting game?
You're living the dream.
Oh yeah,
living the dream.
Oh my god. Oh man, real collectors don't have kids. Am I right? Wow, the archive. Oh my god.
He's trolling.
Oh my goodness.
Oof. That is not true. Every collector I know has children. Where they debate on my child's college has the right attitude. Yeah.
It's it's funny how like kids just change the dynamic of like everything, because like me and Evandro, we've been in the same Destiny raid group for almost 10 years now, but like every year there's a new dad like added, so like our raid team is like dwindling. So can anyone play at like 11 o'clock at night after the kids are at bed? And everyone's like, nah man. So it's like we might get one raid in together like once a month now, as opposed to like there was a time it actually just showed up on my freaking wall the other day of like a great reminder of like, hey, remember when there was no kids and you used to have video game parties at your house? Because the room that I'm in right now actually used to be like my raid party room. I had
like
all the monitors and we just it was like a full theater room where we just played Destiny, and that came up on the feed and I was like, a simpler time.
Miss those days.
Simpler time.
I remember when I used to sleep then, you know.
That was the time you could be up to like 3 o'clock in the morning and be like, I don't gotta get up for anything later, no problem.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Now you pull that, you're like, I'm gonna go to bed at 1, and like as soon as your head hits the pillow, it's like, wah! You're like, son of a bitch.
I will say this about having kids. The best part about it now is that my daughter is now wanting to collect things.
Yes.
Even at 3.
Yes.
So she got a stuffed Ninja Turtle from her aunt. And the first thing she goes, oh, Mikey. First thing she asks, Papa, where's Donnie? And I'm like, okay, all right. Let me call your uncles. So I start shooting out texts to friends that are coming to her birthday. Be like, get her this one, get her this one, get her this one. So she managed to get all 4 turtles. And she's like, Papa, all my turtles, all my turtles.
It is.
She's
awesome.
Just like action figure Leo. And she's like, where's Donnie? And I'm like, yes, Donnie's the favorite.
While Erica's like standing behind you, like, this will not. We won't allow this to happen any longer. We can't have this.
Then you're like, wait till you get into the amazing world of collecting.
So that's going to that. I have the NECA old school 80s Donatello in the box.
Yeah.
And I just don't have space to put it yet. So my daughter keeps seeing it when we were in the basement, and she's like, Papa, Donnie. I play with Donnie. And I'm like, no, you don't.
No, you don't touch that one. Yeah. There's certain ones you don't touch.
No,
You
gotta buy one of those life-size Chuckies to guard him. That's what you gotta
do. Dude, when Abby like first started walking and like could walk, she would come downstairs, right? And like I couldn't hear her. So like I'd be in here like working or whatnot. She'd come downstairs, and I have like, Peter, you might know the Batman black and white statues. They're like those 6-inch statues.
Oh yeah.
She kept taking the Harley Quinn over and over again, and they're like delicate. She like broke. She actually like broke the wrist, so like the gun came off, and I was like, banished. We gotta banish her. She's gone.
I don't have a daughter.
Yeah, I was like, like Kelly, your daughter is messing with my shit. Get her out of here.
That's so funny.
I'm training my daughter very slowly now to be like, all right, you don't go in the office without Dad.
Yeah,
we're not going to the office.
These are toys. Dad. These are not toys.
This is the plot of Child's Play 2, just so you know.
Yo, speaking of Child's Play 2, have you guys seen? You've had to have seen this on Instagram or TikTok. Have you seen where there's like always a bunch of videos of when like the mom grabs, she's like, "Talk to me, damn it," and then like. They just put in like I've seen ones with like Busta Rhymes, like the Spanish like soccer thing. It's just like, oh my god, it's hysterical. If you have not seen those, they're definitely worth the search because I've definitely watched like 20 of them the other night. Like, why is this so funny?
You went down the rabbit
Oh
hole.
yeah, that was like, all right, how many of these can exist? And you won't be disappointed with how many. All right, Peter, you got what, about like 10 more minutes with us, right? If
yeah,
that?
I actually a little bit less. I got to
all
bounce.
right, 5 minutes.
In a
All right,
couple
all
minutes. Go.
Fire
off.
Avandra, you got any firing 5-minute questions?
Firing 5-minute questions? Oh man, you put me on the spot. I don't right now.
Okay, fine.
No, I mean, I'm just like,
out of
I think
everything that
this
you
is,
got
like, a huge
coming out,
achievement.
Peter, everything that you've had out, from the Godzilla to the Darumu to Takaro, who, when is Takaro hitting?
Takaro is close to being done. Skybound has decided they're going to ship all the Kickstarter stuff at the same time, which puts the pressure on me because I'm still working on that book. And so I'm trying to get it done as quickly as possible, but I don't want to rush it.
So you're the one holding it up, huh?
Yes,
you hate to see that.
In fact, there is a scenario where the variant colorways that haven't been announced yet might arrive before the original black and white one.
No way.
Yes.
That hurts my soul because I'm like one of the like, I got the book.
Believe me.
I got
yeah.
I hate to see that.
Yeah, believe me. They want you to get a big box of Takaro with everything in it. And I like that idea, but it is going to mean that I have to finish the book first. I'm like halfway done with it, and hopefully it'll pick up some speed now because there's the portion of the book that has to do with Takaro's home planet and all the big action sequences are all carved. And then the portion of the book that has to do with his family on Earth and the human story, that stuff I'm doing digitally. So it feels slightly different, but still connected in terms of its style. And that I can do a little bit quicker. So hopefully we catch up there. But yes, so there's Takaro, there's Mechagodzilla. I really think that
of the
Takaro
four
is probably the most dynamic figure we've ever put out because it's got all the articulation, which Mechagodzilla does too, but it's got 6 tentacles. It's got the head and the waist twist, but then it also has that clear dome, so it really feels like this perfect original figure. But I can't believe that Toho lets me design and redesign and reinterpret these legacy characters. And the reason the Godzilla figures are so important to me, Godzilla and now Mechagodzilla, is because this is like when you use a hashtag on social media. Like you are putting out a beacon, a symbol, or a signal, I should say, to people who don't know the work, who don't know about the artwork I've made in the past, don't know about Takaro, right? So this amplifies the signal because it's a traditional character that we know and love. And the fact that they let me interpret it is basically them saying, like, use our characters to help grow your name. So it means a lot. It means a lot. And having got the chance to meet a lot of the folks from Toho and International at the licensing show in Vegas this year, it was just awesome to see that they're stoked on it, that you guys are stoked on it, that the collectors are stoked on it. I'm like, whew, we can keep making them because I just have so much fun designing them and seeing them come to life. That I say it all the time. And AJ, we've talked about this stuff offline, like because people are excited about it, because people go and pre-order the stuff, because they keep coming back. Like I get to live this dream life, and I've talked about that. We get to live like a dream life because people support this stuff.
Yeah, man. Like I said it on the show before. I said it on the show before. Like the G Fest pictures of people buying the G19 at G Fest was like, it was like, this is real. Like you're like, because at that point I was just shipping them, and like it was more just work. It hadn't like sunk in yet. And then you see the pictures and you're like, holy crap. All right, so before you go, one last question.
Tell me.
If this is a mega hit on Tuesday, which I think it will be, and Toho comes to you and goes, man, whatever you want to do it. What are you doing next?
I've already started sketching the next one.
Oh, baby. Can we?
Yeah.
You allowed to talk about it? Or
I've actually started sketching the next 2, actually.
Oh, my God.
What
I'm talking about. This man never sleeps.
And the third one is the one I'm desperate to get to, but I feel like I need to do them in the order that I'm doing them to keep the momentum going. Like, for example, next, like once you have this guy, let's say you either didn't get the original Godzilla because you've discovered the work later, or you have them and now you're like, dang, I loved it as a statue. Here, give me the one real quick. But look at the size difference, right? Because this is now
from 6-inch to like 8-inch scale. Yeah,
look at that. So part of me, the first thing I want to do is make a Godzilla in this style.
Absolutely.
Right. So it's got the articulation. It can do different colorways. It stands upright like the other stuff, and it faces off this Mega Godzilla. So that's probably where I want to go next. But then after that, I just think of the excitement around the prints that I've made in the past. And the one that people always talk to me about is Godzilla versus Mothra. And I wonder if that's the move, is to do a Mothra in this style that has all the patterning on the wings, that's floating somehow with a clear stand, maybe that's got some larva. I don't know.
If I had to pick something that I'd want to see from you, just because of how much I loved like the carvings that you did on this, I think Gigan would fit your style really well with how many pattern choices you can take like in his chest area and stuff like that.
That's a good point.
Someone in the chat mentioned Space Godzilla, which I 100% see in your style.
Yeah, but are we gonna have competing Space Godzillas? You know what I mean?
No, it's unlikely that I would love to do it, but I'm probably going to, because Hector loves all of Godzilla but leans Heisei. I love all of Godzilla but I lean Showa. So I think the cool thing is that he's playing in that playground, and I'm in this one over here, sandbox, I should say. Yeah, I'm in this one, so I kind of want to keep going on Showa and see what I can do there. But I can't choose. I'll tell you this: I've literally done sketches of multiple, and I know I want to do Godzilla, and then it's like, do I do Mothra next? Do we do Ghidorah next? You know what I mean?
Well, I would. If it does take off, I would love to see you finish like 74, like do a Godzilla 74 and then a King Caesar. I know King Caesar is not that popular, but that's Abby's favorite character.
I love King Caesar.
I know, and I think King Caesar would be another one that fits your art style. Just because of how he already looks, would fit your art style like perfect.
I love it, dude.
But all right, man.
I think he'd be a great one. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Well, thanks, dude. I appreciate it, man. I love coming on.
Thanks for taking the time, man.
Yeah, anytime. You know, I watch you guys all the time on Sunday nights, and I have a lot of love for you guys and the show. And I've told so many people about it. Whenever there's an auction show, especially, like, just take part in it once, just for the feeling of how fun it is to just be like, boom, the bidding. It's so fun.
Yeah, the 100th episode that we just did, like, I was, you know, because you never know how it's gonna go. Because again, we changed up our format so many times. We're not on as much. So it was like, all right, you know, I hope this is good. And then, like, we had like almost 60 to 80 viewers the whole time. We did the giveaways. We were on for like 5 hours. I was like, Dad, what are we doing right now? This is crazy. But it was great. Like, we tried to hit everything that we've ever done. Like, we ordered Domino's Pizza. We had like the original Andy Peters like intro. Like, we just tried to make it like an homage episode. It was great.
It was awesome.
But
all right, you guys, man. I love you. Thank you so much, man. And I appreciate all you guys in the chat. I see you all there. I'm reading the comments. If you get a chance, if you're interested in grabbing the Mechagodzilla, come hard and support on Tuesday. That was a terrible phrasing. Come to the shop, support, pick one up on Tuesday. And everybody else will be very excited about that over on our side of things, because we want to see that pay off so bad. We want to keep building the line. I want to get to everybody. I want to get, you name a character. Ibira. They'll probably make me do him last, because like a lobster.
Yeah,
Ibira, finally.
You don't even have to. You don't even need to get the license. You just create a lobster monster and be like,
Attack Peter, just lobster.
Attack Peter Lobster. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Wink, exactly. All right, gentlemen. Thank you.
All right, man. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Have a great one.